YouTube, my friend, once again, I've made a huge mistake. I ran a game last night where we had just finished a Trouble Brewing game. The players were clamoring for something a little bit more advanced, and so I quickly whipped up a custom script. Doing this in a hurry is not something I recommend, but I gave it a go. We had recently played Strings Pulling, which is Trouble Brewing plus the Marionette, and I wanted to do something similar to that. So what I did was I took Trouble Brewing and I replaced the Butler with the Klutz, and I replaced the Spy with the Evil Twin, and I added the Nadashi. I thought that this would be just a little bit of spice, and we would then see how things would unfold, how the different players would interact with this and see what was going on, and hopefully have an interesting game. But I was very, very wrong. And let's go through it. Let's find out why, and let's see what I did and what I would change. So our setup is a fortune teller sitting next to an imp, sitting next to the evil twin, who's then sitting next to the chef, which is already kind of scary. We then have the mayor, the empath, the klutz, and the raven keeper. And the person that I decided to pair the evil twin with was the empath. This was both chosen by character, but also by the players. I thought this would be a good player pairing. And, well, things didn't work out very well. On the first day, the evil twin came out, said, "Hello, I'm whatever." I believe they just claimed to be the empath and said that they had gotten a 2, and pushed on to their good twins, and they were the evil twin. Obviously, this is what normally happens. And the good twin didn't really claim anything. They had a private conversation that didn't really exchange any information, because if the evil twin is paired with a drunk, the evil twin doesn't know what character the drunk thinks they are. They just see the drunk. And so they were hesitant to actually say real characters, which makes sense. But the empath obviously got a 0. So the empath trusted their neighbors, and the chef 1 really hurt here. And on the first night, the fortune teller saw the imp and got a yes. Picked both their neighbors. Kind of funny in a Nadashi game, but picked both their neighbors, got a yes. The evil twin comes out and goes, "I got a 2, I want to kill my neighbors." The demon gets nominated and executed on the first day. Then we all wake up again, no one's died. No one's like, "Well, we've killed the demon. Let's just all go to sleep. We'll get another night of information, and then we'll have a go at this twin thing later." They did that. Nothing really changed, because really only the fortune teller is getting information, but the fortune teller does not get information about the evil twin pair. They then wake up again, and everyone's like, "Well, do we just execute down and try and go for a mayor victory?" And I'm like, we're not going to sit here and wait 7 days or whatever it is for this to resolve. And I could see, obviously, the evil twin was having a terrible time. They were stuck, unable to really do anything. And the demon who was killed immediately was also having a pretty rough time, because they have to be there constantly like, "No, I'm obviously not the demon. Here is the reason why." And it becomes harder and harder to convince everyone of that when there's just no deaths at night, which is kind of tough. If you had one of my main things that I think was the problem here was with only the evil twin, no other minions, because of the player count, it is difficult for the evil team to get out of this scenario. If they had an extra evil person, that evil person could have been claiming to be the monk or something to help build this narrative as best as possible. Obviously, that wasn't really working out, unfortunately. But what I ended up doing is invoking the Deus Ex Machina, which is a fabled character, and the fabled character says the storyteller has made a mistake. Good morning, Ravenswood Bluff. Due to the nature of this game, I am invoking a fabled character, the Deus Ex Machina. We now must assume that Keith has made a grave mistake. Today will be the final day regardless of outcome.
Oh.
Cool.
Okay. So that means we have to execute a twin today. I think it's most likely niche.
Like, regardless of what is the correct choice in this scenario, I knew that I had to get my plays out of a shit game. I had to backpedal. I had to do whatever I can. And it basically comes down to, guys, look, I've made a mistake. I need to fix this thing. And that might just mean we go to next game. Because sometimes trying out stuff, regardless of how well you think it'll come together, it just does not work. In this scenario, the imp, if they were the Nadashi, the chef info being wrong, the fortune teller info being wrong, would have been perfect. And maybe I could have cheated a little bit. And when the fortune teller picked the imp on the first day, I could have changed the imp to be the Nadashi, seeing how we could have ended up in this scenario. But you never know exactly what's going to happen until it does happen. And really, the only thing that you can do is recover, is apologize, and try and fix the game as best you can. Sometimes that means exiting early. In this case, I probably waited a little bit too long because I didn't want Nidge, our evil twin, is in an awkward scenario where the win or loss in the game determines specifically on exactly what he does. And because his day one was really chaotic, he's trying to push a very specific narrative that he is the drunk, that his information is wrong, and it is really hard for the town to get on board with that compared to the real empath who's just gotten a 0 every time, and his neighbors are actually good, which is tough, right? And so I want to balance giving the evil twin enough time to play the game to maybe be able to get a win. Because if they get a win out of here, that is really impressive and everyone has a great time, they turn it around. But if we just drag on day after day after day of no actual game progression moving forwards, then it's going to be really bad and it's going to drag. And you're sitting there in a game that you know you've lost and you're fighting. No one cares. No one believes you. No one's listening to you. And that sucks. And so I probably waited for a little bit longer than I should have before terminating the game. But it's because I wanted to give them an opportunity to try and turn it around. It looked like it wasn't going that way. I made a choice. I go, okay, we have to end the game. Today's the final day no matter what happened. The script that I built, which admittedly was in a hurry, did not work out very well. And we won't be doing this again. we won't be doing this again. And sometimes that happens. Like, we then went on after this to play some great S&V games. And so you have to be able to react to this kind of stuff. One of the 4 rules is to have fun, right? Be gracious in winning and losing, but it is difficult to do that when it feels like things are pinned against you, and it's the storyteller's responsibility to run a good game. Same as Dungeons and Dragons. You're not going to put your players in a scenario where they're going to have a shit time. They've come here to have fun, and they've come here to play the game. If you've made playing the game unfun through something that you've done, especially as a storyteller, you're responsible for nearly everything. And if a specific player is being an asshole, you as a storyteller have the power to deal with this person as well. And if something in your game is happening that's making people have a shit time, you should be doing something about it. It can be awkward. It can be really tough. My personal brand of dealing with it is taking full responsibility. No matter what happened, even if someone's being an asshole, I'm like, look, this is my bad. I fucked up. I'm gonna re-rack, or I'm gonna do whatever I need to do to get us back into a good game. And this one in particular dragged on a little long, but ultimately I was able to salvage the vibe, and we went on to play some good games after that. But this is what I just wanted to bring up. This is some of the things that does happen. I'm an experienced storyteller, and this shit happens to me. It happens to you when you're starting out and fresh, and that's fine. The goal is to see it happen, understand what you have to do, learn for the future so you can either prevent it happening or get really good at dealing with the problems when they arise. Sometimes you'll have particular players that need certain accommodations. We have people in our group that are a bit slow or a bit shy and a bit harder for them to get the spotlight. And then the responsibility should be on me to help them make sure they do actually get their moment to talk and say their piece. You can have really dominant personalities, but sometimes that needs to be you telling them to shut up and give everyone else an opportunity. But obviously you have to do that in a way that's not going to make that player feel unheard. So there's a lot of managing the players, curating your group, and there's a lot of running the game so that these situations hopefully don't come up. But hopefully this was something that helped you learn a bit or two. I do have a lot of videos like this on the channel if you want to go and check them out. They're all in this big playlist of Clock Tower, and we have a lot of games uploaded and stuff as well, so you can go and check them out. So hopefully that was something cool. Hopefully you're interested in hitting that subscribe button and checking out some content, so that I'll see you next time that I hopefully run a good game instead of a bad game.